Welcome to Cox OC Connection. I'm Lacy Kelly and this is Civic Connection. Because South County doesn't have large groundwater supply like North County does, Santa Margarita Water District, which serves 144,000 customers, is particularly concerned about water resources in South County. To help address this issue, they've partnered with an LA-based company, Cadiz, Inc., to bring water from the Mojave Desert to South County. Today as my guest, we have Scott Slater, who's the CEO of Cadiz, Inc., and Charley Wilson, who is the Vice Chair of the Santa Margarita Water District. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, Scott, I want to start with you. We don't think of the Mojave Desert as a place with a lot of water. How much is there and how did you find it?
Well, the Mojave Desert is actually very topographically diverse, and so a lot of people don't know this, but the highest points in the Mojave are about 7,200 feet above ground surface, sea elevation. And the key fact about that is there is precipitation and snowpack that occurs at the upper reaches of the New York mountains, which happens to be at the top of a 1,300 square mile watershed where Cadiz is. There is about 20 million acre feet of groundwater beneath the ground surface already today. That's more water than in Lake Mead. So it's an enormous supply of water, a supply that we won't use very much of. In fact, the water we use from that supply will be less than 1% per year, and most of which will be replenished by rainfall. We found it back in the early 80s, before I was associated, when a NASA engineer was looking for water supply sources throughout the world and fixated on a specific place in the eastern Mojave, and that being Cadiz. We then began the operation in 1983, first with farming, and we are now the largest agricultural producer in San Bernardino County with dried on the vine raisins and lemons.
Okay, excellent. And how are you planning on bringing that water to South County?
Well, our objective really from the beginning was to be low impact, and there is an existing railway corridor that is actively operated by Arizona California Railway, and we have an arrangement with them to locate a 43-mile pipe inside this right-of-way, so we will connect our property to the Colorado River Aqueduct, which is owned by the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. So we will pump the groundwater, actually before it can become hypersaline and evaporate, and we will take that water, push it through the pipeline, we'll generate power on the way to the Colorado River Aqueduct, and then from there the water will be made available to our partners, the Santa Margarita Water District and others.
Phenomenal. So you're using existing infrastructure and producing some energy out of it too.
That's correct.
That's excellent. Okay. And recently, a lawsuit was dismissed back in December on this project. How did you prepare for what might be lawsuits or challenges against your project?
Well, we knew that water as an enterprise or infrastructure project in California is always very difficult. And we wanted to make sure that in addition to being part of the Southern California solution for its water supply shortages, that we would be environmentally benign. So we created a project hypothesis. We then subjected that to peer review, and we had unpaid experts from around the country who evaluated the project and confirmed that it could be operated in a way that did not cause harm to the environment. We then went to our partners, the Santa Margarita Water District, and they conducted an exhaustive environmental review, one that ultimately resulted in a 27,000-page record that was evaluated by the court.
27,000 pages.
27,000 pages.
Wow.
I've been in this space for 30 years working in the water business and never seen such a comprehensive, well-done environmental document.
Okay, sounds like something our residents can get very comfortable with. So, Charley, you guys are partners with Cadiz. Tell us a little bit about your partnership. How did that come about?
Well, Santa Margarita, as you mentioned in the opening, we have no groundwater supply here. We're really almost 100% dependent upon the metropolitan system to bring water in. So as part of our strategy, as part of our governance, we've been very innovative and very entrepreneurial. And we thought in partnering with a private entity like Cadiz for the promise of being able to bring in water supplies was beneficial not just for Santa Margarita, but for Southern California in general. So we thought it was a prudent partnership where if a company and their investors were willing to put up the capital, make the investment, that as a public agency, you needed a public agency in order to be able to go through the environmental process. We thought that was an appropriate partnership. And at the end of the day, as we bring this to fruition, the district will be a functioning, working partner, not just someone subject to an outside entity, but we actually have a true working partnership. And as Scott said, it allows us as the public agency to go through that vetting period where we can make sure that the project will deliver, do it in an environmentally benign way, and that both parties, both for those in San Bernardino as well as Orange County, are protected.
Right. Okay. So public-private partnership, always a great way to save taxpayer dollars. So excellent model. You are also, meaning SMWD, really active in water recycling and water conservation. How will this impact that program?
It doesn't really impact that program. I mean, if you look at kind of where we are today, water as a total, I mean, clearly everybody's focused today on the drought, and we certainly have the declaration from the governor, and we've got a 24% conservation mandate. We're going to meet that mandate. We're asking our customers to conserve, to reduce, and to modify how they use water. Beyond that, though, there is still a need, because of our dependence upon outside supply, we need to be able to do like a three-legged stool approach where you have to look at both local supplies and maximizing the resource that we have. That's in reuse. So take what we get today, reuse it, maximize that use. Conserve and create more efficient use of water. And then third is, where is the future supply reliability? Where will that come from? And a project like Cadiz for us gives us that forecast, not for tomorrow, not for next year, but 20, 50 years out. So we're really protecting this part of the county into future years, well beyond what we'll ever see as elected officials.
We're diversifying our portfolio, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, just like you would your investment portfolio.
Absolutely. So Scott, how important is this project to South County, from your view?
Well, I think it's particularly important to South County as an area that relies so heavily on imported water. Cadiz represents a key opportunity to secure a completely reliable supply, and as Charley mentions, to diversify its portfolio. This water is already beneath the ground. It doesn't require new precipitation to generate the supply, which makes it a lot different than most forms of imported water available to Southern California. The second factor is it does have a water quality benefit that should be enjoyed by the entire region, because this water is softer. It has less salts than water presently in the Colorado River.
Okay, great. How much interest is there in this water, and is Santa Margarita buying it all up, or how's that going to work?
Well, Santa Margarita is our key partner in the project, but there is water that is being scooped up by Orange County, by entities in Los Angeles, Riverside, Ventura, and even San Bernardino County. So it's spread around the community of Southern California as we think about it.
Okay. And when will construction begin? When can we start feeling the benefits of the project?
Well, it's a short time away in water years. We're looking at being able to initiate construction in the first quarter of 2016, and under a conservative construction schedule of about 18 months, we should be delivering water in the latter part of 2017 or first part of 2018.
That's exciting. Okay, great. That's good. Charley, you're the chairman also of the Southern California Water Committee. How do you view this project and what you're doing in terms of the impact to all of Southern California?
Well, very similar to how Santa Margarita views this. We've got some immediate needs, and then you've got future needs. At the Southern California Water Committee, it is dedicated and responsible exclusively for being able to provide long-term sustainable reliability for Southern California. So we see new projects like Cadiz as part of that portfolio, along with fixing the Bay Delta, along with other resource development that takes place. Again, you have to look at the water system in California not as a regional, not as a local, but as a statewide system. And if you look at the statewide system, clearly California needs to use its existing resources more efficiently, use it in a more productive way, and look for additional new supply development. And this fits that portfolio, it fits the scale, and as Scott indicated, in terms of years of developing, it's light years ahead of the normal 7 to 10 year process it takes to go build dams or go do other kinds of projects.
Of course, that's very intelligent. Okay, great. How can someone find out more about the timing of this, the project? Do you guys have websites you could say what they are right now for the viewers?
Yes, Cadiz is, we are at www.cadiz.org. Cadiz.com.
Okay. And
And
Charley?
same thing, Santa Margarita, go to smwd.com.
Okay. And just quickly, is this project going to impact water rates positively, negatively, neutrally?
We've looked at that very carefully at Santa Margarita. If you look at the history of Metropolitan, we're looking at an average of 5.5% increase every year, last 5 years. As we projected out the price increases for Metropolitan, we believe that the price that Cadiz will be able to produce this water is absolutely in line with that. That's, we think, a prudent investment and something we can build into our existing rate structure.
Small price to pay to make sure our
Very small
grandchildren's
price.
grandchildren have water.
How much is reliability really worth?
Right, right. Well, gentlemen, Charley and Scott, I want to thank you for spending time with us today. Good luck with the project. We're looking forward to seeing it come online.
Thank
you, Lacy.
you.
Okay. Thanks for watching Civic Connection. We'll see you next time.